misrepresentation categories. Fraudulent misrepresentation. Dairy VP. A statement made knowingly to be false or without belief in its truth or recklessly with regards to its truth is a statement of fraudulent misrepresentation. Row 2. Misrepresentation categories. Fraudulent misrepresentation. Thomas Witter v. TBP Industries. Recklessly is defined as a flagrant disregard for the truth. Row 3. Misrepresentation categories. Fraudulent misrepresentation. Dairy VP. The burden is on the claimant to prove actual fraud in a claim for fraudulent misrepresentation. Once it is proven, though, the motive of the fraudulent party is irrelevant. Row 4. Misrepresentation categories. Negligent misrepresentation. Misrepresentation Act 1967 S.21. A person is negligent if they did not act in a fraudulent way but did not take due care and attention to ascertain if the statement was false. Row 5. Misrepresentation categories. Negligent misrepresentation. Howard Marine VA. Ogden and Sons. If the representee proves a misrepresentation which is fraudulent, the onus passes to the representer defendant to prove that he had reasonable grounds. Row 6. To believe the facts represented. Row 7. Misrepresentation categories. Negligent misrepresentation tort. Hedley Byrne v. Heller. A negligent misstatement can be pursued through the common law tort of negligence if no contract between claimant and defendant is present. Row 8. To allow to sue through MA 1967. Row 9. Misrepresentation categories. Innocent misrepresentation. Misrepresentation Act 1967 S.21. Definition - a statement made where the representer proves that not only did he believe that what he was true, he had reasonable grounds. Row 10. For belief in the truth of the statement. Row 11. Misrepresentation remedies. Rescission. Current Universal Finance v. Caldwell. In order to rescind, the representee must communicate this intention to the representer. This can be done in many ways, including an overt act. Row 12. That would be reasonable in the circumstances. Row 13. Misrepresentation remedies. Bars to rescission. Long v. Lloyd. A misrepresentee may not rescind if it is deemed that they have either through declared intention or an act from which an intention may reasonably. Row 14. Inferred affirmation of the contract. Row 15. Misrepresentation remedies. Bars to rescission. Leaf v. International Galleries. SGA 1979 S.35. After a lapse of reasonable time, the goods are retained without intimating rejection to the seller. The time in question was 5 years. Row 16. Note ** if a fraudulent misrepresentation was present, the time runs from date or the date it ought reasonably have been discovered, not purchase date. Row 17. Misrepresentation remedies. Bars to rescission. Clark v. Dixon. Rescission is impossible due to the product being wholly different in nature from the time of contracting. Row 18. Misrepresentation remedies. Bars to rescission. Erlanger v. New Sombrero Phosphate. Rescission is an equitable remedy, though, and the court will allow minor imperfections and will do what is practically just. Row 19. Misrepresentation remedies. Bars to rescission. Phillips v. Brooks. Third-party rights will bar rescission if that third party has acquired rights to the subject matter of the contract entered into as a result of the misrepresentation. Row 20. Misrepresentation remedies. Damages in lieu of rescission. Zanzibar v. British Aerospace. Damages in lieu of rescission can awarded at the discretion of the courts where it would be obliged to grant rescission. Row 21. Misrepresentation remedies. Indemnity. Whittington v. Seal-Hain. An indemnity may be awarded in respect of legal obligations assumed a direct result of the contract, but an equitable remedy and is. Row 22. Awarded at the discretion of the courts. Row 23. Misrepresentation remedies. Damages. Fruit. Doyle v. Olby. Extensive damages are available for fraudulent misrepresentation measured in the tort of deceit and all losses directly flowing from the transaction. Row 24. May be available to be recouped through damages. They do not need to be foreseeable as long as they are not rendered too remote. Row 25. Misrepresentation remedies. Damages Fruit. East v. Moore. Loss of profits as a result of a fraudulent misrepresentation may also be claimed. The measure for the damages awarded is what the party would have. Row 26. Made in profit if they have purchased a business of the same type in a similar town. Row 27. Misrepresentation remedies. Damages negligence. Howard Marine VA. Ogden and Sons. If negligent misrepresentation is found, the damages available with the fiction of fraud and treated as having made a fraudulent misrepresentation. Row 28. Misrepresentation remedies. Damages negligence. Royskett Trust v. Rogerson. Damages for negligent misrepresentation are the same as damages for fraud. Row 29. Misrepresentation remedies. Damages negligence. Smith New Court v. Scrimgeour. Damages for negligent misrepresentation are the same as damages for fraud as per Royskett v. Rogerson, except the damages are awarded for. Row 30. All loses flowing from the misrepresentation, not the transaction. Row 31. Misrepresentation remedies. Exclusion of liability for misrepresentation. Misrepresentation Act 1967 S.3 cannot exclude liability for misrepresentation unless it is reasonable to do so under Act